when I see somebody like Matthew who really loves what he's doing and he enjoys his interaction with the public and he wants to continue. He's not burnt out, and that's hard to maintain for somebody in his position, and it's refreshing. I really hope that he's able to continue his public service, and I would be happy to do anything I can to help him out.
So, buy local and help the people in the community. That's definitely who Matthew is, without a doubt.
And fortunately, because of the efforts of the National Guard and through the coordination of Matthew Linn, we were able to stop the river there as well. And we were dry throughout that flooding process.
And I was president of that group for 13 years until the fall of 14, and now I'm treasurer. And he opposed tax elections, which were put forward by the other commissioners. I believe he and Stephanie Lynch may have been the only two opposed.
And that's one of the things that I like about Matthew. He can get things done, and he's always concerned about the bottom line. A great, for instance, was when I was invited to an invitation-only grand opening at the restaurant. And the invitation read, "Bring something to sit on and something to eat with." Once again, thinking out of the box, keeping his costs low, and people loved it. And I would go back to see, did I recognize that knife? Or is my chair still here? If you follow along the Caddo Commission and what they've been doing to make Caddo Parish better, you'll see that Matthew is on the headlines many times, putting together efforts with little cost and great revenue. And I don't mean dollar revenue, I mean quality of life for his constituents. So I have tremendous trust in what he has done, and I have tremendous trust in what he is going to do in his next term on the Caddo Commission. Some people run for office to make themselves look better. Certainly they've got some care about the community, but with Matthew, the care came long before the office.
What matters to me the most in all people, and especially elected officials, is their character. Character can't be manufactured. I've known Matthew for 39 years, and he has good character that is wound through his life. I have a lot of stories about Matthew. I've known him for 39 years, so going way back. Recent ones, I could think of two recent ones, in the past year. One was that I own a piece of property that is on Highland Avenue across from where they tried to turn Don Seafood into a funeral home. And Matthew, as a Caddo Parish Commissioner, was instrumental in helping us defeat that proposition, which meant retaining property values in South Highlands and preventing a business to come in there that did not fit the neighborhood. Okay, when I first became a realtor 14 years ago, I had a transaction with Matthew where I represented him. After the transaction was over, in other words, paper signed, everything finalized, the title attorney called and said that he had made a mistake and wanted more money from Matthew. Matthew at that point did not have to give any more money since the transaction was over, signed, sealed, delivered, everything. But because he has a good character, it bothered him, and he did go up there and pay more money to the title attorney to give to the seller. So that was a good sign that Matthew was an honest person.
And Matthew not only ran a good business, but came to understand business, what it means to pay taxes, hire people, go through training, everything that's associated with business. Since that point in time, I've watched Matthew as a politician and becoming a member of the commission. His focus has been on many things with juvenile justice. He's also been really focused on taxes. He understands taxes as a former businessman, and he's participated with the rest of the commission in rolling back property taxes. The rollback in property taxes has benefited everybody in the parish, particularly small business that has a difficult time with the tax burden, but also all the individuals in the parish with the reduction of property taxes over time.
I think Matthew believes everybody's boat rises with the tide. You know, we can all win. He's got such a great civic approach to things. You know, he's dedicated to his neighborhood, he's dedicated to the community. He just has a good spirit.
Matthew has a passion for Shreveport. He has a passion for Columbia Park. He has a passion for the area around Cresswell School and in South Highlands where I live. He's always accessible. You can pick up the phone or text Matthew with a concern, and he's there to listen to how we provide services to children and adults at that facility. He's been helpful in talking with the administration there and understanding the needs of the mental health community in Shreveport and helping to ensure that those needs can be better met in our area.
He's honest, and he's not in it for personal gain and wealth, but he truly cares about Shreveport and serving on the Caddo Commission, and he's kind of brings the old-fashioned values to the commission.
CPA, and I first met Matthew Linn in the early days of the Crew of Highland. I think it was the second or the third parade. As you know, Matthew was the founder of the Crew of Highland, and I asked him what I could do to help, and he said, well, you're a CPA, so you can be the treasurer. Well, 20 years later, I'm still the treasurer of the Crew of Highland. The Crew of Highland is what it is today because of Matthew Linn's imagination. We had over 100 entries in the parade, and the Crew of Highland is very successful. It's financially stable, and the Highland Parade is our gift to the city of Shreveport. We live in a historic home. It's on the National Register of Historic Places, and we're on the Shreveport-Bossier Tourism website as a haunted attraction. So I woke up one morning, and I walked out on my porch, and there is a telephone box outside my house, and we've learned to live with that. But I walked outside one morning, and there was this awful piece of monstrosity out there next to the telephone box. It was a piece of equipment just set on a pole. I'm like, no, we can't have tourists coming and seeing that. We're supposed to put our best foot forward for people that come to visit the city. So I tried to call the telephone company. I mean, and I got, sent here, to there, there. Nobody knew anything. Nobody could do anything about it. So I said, well, I'm going to call Matthew. So I called Matthew and I said, can you do something about this monstrosity in my front yard? So he came over and he looked at it and he said, this has got to go. So he got the Public Service Commission involved. I mean, it wasn't any time before that monstrosity was gone and it was replaced with something much more palatable. And all it took was one call to Matthew. And I mean, he knows so many people. I mean, he knows who to call, he knows how to get things done, and that's what we need in a Caddo Parish Commissioner.
Because of the efforts of Matthew Linn and many of the people in our community, we were able to stop being under 8 foot of water in this spot that we're standing in now and keep the river held back. Not only did he help work on the dam and levee that is right there at the river edge, but also help the drainage that was here locally on our property.
He stood up for me, basically, and that's the type of person Matthew is. He'll stand up for you,
Both of them. You got the sweetest wife you ever want to see. She is.